we asked Ron Van Dam to tell us a little bit about his audience.
They're people from all walks of life, but they're the weird ones from all walks of life.
That's you he's talking about, sport. And yet here you are, still listening to The Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
Ron Van Dam is an experienced talk show host. Do not attempt to try this at home.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Oh, yes, it is.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. It's going to be a great day today, he said, without any kind of knowledge whatsoever of how the day was going to go. Actually, it really could go rather terribly wrong, but nonetheless, he keeps an attitude where it could be actually fantastic. It never really is. Sometimes it is, but not a lot. I do tend to ramble on. I'm raising my hand. I do tend to ramble on. I'm guilty. Okay. I get it. Welcome to the show. This is the Friday edition of the program. This should last you through the weekend, and then I'll be back on Monday. But, let's do this first, shall we? How are you, first of all? I like to connect with my audience in a way that nobody else does, because nobody else really can. So I'm connecting with you right now. So let's have a conversation. How are you? No, go on, say it. How are you? Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a moment. No, forget it. Never mind. That didn't work out very well. My guest coming up later today is going to talk about depression. And you may say, okay, that sounds depressing. Yeah, but you know what? I truly believe, as I will say to my guest when arrives later to be guestful, I think everybody is a little bit depressed these days. And a lot of people, even more than a lot of people, the majority of people are more than depressed. They're downright depressed is what they are. And I'm not making light of it because there's chronic depression where you actually cannot function. And I'm starting to wonder if I'm not on the cusp of that because I have pre-everything else. I have pre-heart disease, which means, you have a little high blood pressure. I have pre-diabetes, which means, the readings aren't horrible, but, really should cut down on the sugar. I've got some precancerous little skin things that have been removed in the past on my body, on my wonderful, luxurious body. So I have pre-everything. I think I also have pre-depression. I can't remember everything that happened to me in my life because my brain cells actually have all been used up, and some of them are actually saying, I'm not dealing with you anymore, Ron. I'm done. So I don't remember as much as I did. I'm not at the point where I walk into rooms and say, ooh, why did I come in here? That hasn't happened yet. I mean, it has all throughout life, but in a very, nothing manner, like a nothing burger, they call it. What a strange phrase that is that came out of our society. Oh, that's a nothing burger. What are you talking about? What's a nothing burger? There's no burger there? And what are you saying? Nothing burger, but that was a good hamburger, but it's just a hamburger. It's really nothing. How does this express anything? How did this become a popular phrase for something that's just boring and is like just nothing? We have to compare it to a hamburger? What the hell, man? Why, is a hamburger incredibly exciting otherwise? Is that the gauge of excitement? How great a hamburger is? No, that's a nothing burger. Well, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy the damn piece of meat. What's your problem? Not an accurate way of making a comparison as far as I'm concerned. When someone says to me, oh, that Ron, I went to the movies. It was a nothing burger. No, it was a movie that you didn't like. Why don't you just say that? Your phrase of comparison is so insanely ridiculous. But I digress. Yeah, my brain cells are not. I think there's certainly. I think there are certain drugs that you can take. I think, is it Prevagen? I don't even know. Because see, I watch a lot of medical television commercials, not by choice. They seem to pop up between my comedy shows. So I don't even know. Is it Prevagen or Premlin or I don't even know. Apparently that helps your mental sharpness. Yeah, no, it helps the pharmaceutical company make a lot of money is what it does. There are other ways you can keep your brain sharp, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about depression because the world is just a nothing burger right now. It's a horrible thing. And even the current president of the United States, that makes me shiver just to even come up with that concept, has actually said, this Trump guy, have you heard this Donald Trump guy, by the way? I know. I don't even get me started. Even he said not long ago, here's what he said, things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Well, that is a nice, hopeful, good feeling. Oh, guess what? You think things are bad now? They're going to get a lot worse before they get better. If they do get better. See, they're going to get a lot worse, that's for sure. Before it gets a lot better, that's not necessarily the case. But things will get a lot worse. Even the guy sitting in the White House said that, because I'm going to make it worse. He actually said that. I'm going to make it worse so it gets better. I don't know if your theory and practice would really be quite successful in that sense. Your theory is kind of a nothing burger. So if you invest in companies or stocks, if you own a business, if you're a consumer, I think we've covered all aspects of everybody. Then you better start wearing panty liners because you're going to be shitting your pants. If you're not already, watch out, here comes the load. So should I be happy and cheerful? That's difficult, man. The only way you can become happy and cheerful in these times, with 2 wars going on the globe that don't seem to stop and no one can stop them because these 2 factions hate each other or want to take over the planet, which is a really, I thought in the movies that was an interesting plot. In real life, it's not all that interesting. It's freaking scary. And then you elect these people into office that are just like nothing burgers. So why wouldn't one really be depressed? Here's what's not funny about last week, actually in the middle of the week, I went to the movies. There's a movie out called The Accountant 2. I didn't see The Accountant 1, but I had nothing to do and I had to kill 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I went to the movies and I saw The Accountant 2. You see, I go to movies and movie theaters where the film is so bad and the movie theater is just so unpopular that I and maybe 2 other people are the only people in the theater. I love that. It's like a command performance. It's like I rented out the theater for myself. And that was the case. It was 7 o'clock at night in a movie theater in Weymouth, Massachusetts. It was me and 2 other people who happened to be a couple. They were probably in their 80s or something. And it was just us. We didn't sit together or anything because that would be awkward. But I knew they were there, and they probably knew I was there. So we're watching the film. And it's the most disgusting film I've ever seen. The only worst film that I've ever seen recently was a film called The Nickel Boys, which apparently won some type of Academy Award for some reason. It was the worst film ever. Not only was the subject matter horrible, but the way it was filmed and produced was just disgustingly awful. I mean, the camera wouldn't stop shaking, and it was awful. It was awful. I'm a graduate of Film and Television, New York University Institute of Film and Television. I know my stuff. That was the worst film ever. Coming in second was the film that I saw this week, The Accountant 2. I guess The Accountant 1 wasn't so bad because they made a number 2. Literally. So I'm watching this damn thing, and Ben Affleck starred in it. It was a decent performance, but other than that, there were probably about 83 million murders in the thing, with people's heads being blown off. And I'm not just saying that in a consequential sense. Literally and figuratively and on the screen, people's heads were being blown off. It was the most violent film I've ever seen. There were children around watching this violence in the movie. I mean, they had little children actors, like 5, 6 years old, in the middle of all this shooting and violence and people killing each other and knocking the hell out of each other and people exploding. Basically, it was hard to watch. I couldn't even eat my popcorn. It was so difficult. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I watching this when this kind of really happens in real life in various wars and countries with innocent people being like blown to shreds? Why am I watching this on a large screen? What the hell am I doing? Is this escapism? Is this entertainment? No, it's not. It's disgustingly sad. Because in this world today, we have to create our own worlds of comfort, maybe through family or friends or doing something that you like or a hobby or something or playing golf. Ew, I don't know. But, we have to create our own little heaven. Because outside, man, it's crazy. I can't even walk outside without mosquitoes and gnats attacking me. But that's besides the point. So... It does sound depressing, doesn't it? So are we all a little bit depressed? If you really look inside yourself, for those that like to create these bubbles of love and wonderful and happiness, if you look inside, we're all kind of like, this is not the best thing it could be. This is not the best thing it could be. This planet is not the best thing it could be. This society is certainly not the best thing it could be. I'm not even the best thing I could be. Well, maybe I am, but you're not. So that's the layperson's definition of depression. But there are people that actually are depressed, can't get out of that, are stuck in that depression, don't know how they got there necessarily. It's the brain saying, I'm not accepting anything good anymore, and you're going to have to live with it. And there's nothing to do, and there's nothing to do, and there's nothing to do. It's an out-of-control feeling, but even that isn't chronic depression. It's just your chemicals in your body not allowing you to do anything. It's a serious problem. And it's treated in all different kinds of ways, both medically and certainly going to therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists and all those kinds of professional people that try to just scratch away at the surface of your depression, but it kind of doesn't work like that. There is a resolve that's becoming more popular, and we'll talk about that as we speak to our guests. Ron, is your entire point today to talk about how depressing everything is? Because we kind of know that. Yeah. But here's the thing. We are a population of people. I've said this. This is my theory. I've said it on so many shows before, but it's the time to say it again. You can have 52 million happy, wonderful, loving, caring, respectful, love your neighbor kind of kissy people who just soak in life itself. This journey is incredible on this beautiful blue planet thing. This life-sustaining, wonderful place with medical technology that takes care of most of everything. I mean, we're so in touch with our bodies. We're smarter than ever. All that stuff is the stuff that makes us horrible. Also, technology is actually killing us. We killed ourselves on this planet. We killed our own planet. Oh, the planet will remain. Life being sustained for humans, not so much. Not so much. It only takes a couple of evil people amongst zillions of happy-go-lucky, wonderful people to ruin everything. And that's what's happening, man. Is there a resolve? No. But here's, unfortunately, you can't sit on your ass all day and be concerned about people being blown up overseas in horrible, disgusting wars, and children without food and without water, and civilizations that are just like, you can't do that. We're not built for that. We're not built for that. And that's why I say, you go back further in history, back to the 1500s and 1600s. You remember that, right? Where people were just killing each other left and right, and walking around with horrible weapons. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the United States. We do that now. All right, got my terms mixed up. Anyway, people just either they were starving or they were incredibly rich and getting the gout from eating all the incredible rich food in the castle. I mean, it was not a great time. I mean, wars have been going on in our civilization since the beginning of time, I think. I don't know. Even the Bible is full of horrible violence. Oh, whoa. Step back from that thing too. So, as a society, we as a people never got it right. We never got it right. Are we getting it right more than ever? In a way, yes. But are we stopping the things that are not right? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, maybe getting worse. Society never just groups together and says, enough of this shit. I'm sorry to curse on the air. I don't think Spotify enjoys that. I've been warned. There aren't enough people to say, enough of this. Enough. No. All we want to do in this lifetime, Ron, is to be happy and peaceful. To enjoy ourselves without interfering with the enjoyment of others. That's called respect. To love each other, to kiss the hell out of this planet and kiss the hell out of every human being. And smile and enjoy and hold hands and just be happy. That should be the simple goal of it. But no, because there are people on this planet that just don't get it. And apparently there's more and more that don't get it. And where does the depression come in? Where does the stress come into play? Well, that's because of social media. We have created a trampoline of death. So we can know everybody else's problems. We can suffer for everybody else. We can learn about horrible things going on all over this globe. It's a big globe. It's a big one. But we have to take in all the concerns of everything and everybody everywhere, because we're now aware of everything. Before, not so much aware of everything. We heard about it, but we didn't really care because we didn't know about it. Now we have to care too much about it. I get about 2,000 emails a day, and in the snail mail, which is called the post office, that's a nice term for it. It's a nothing burger. I get marketing letters asking me to donate to all these people and charities and skinny dogs and everything and sick people and sick children and all that stuff. Give all the money to everybody because everybody's suffering. Everybody's suffering but you, right? I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why the brain cells say to us, too much. We don't have any more room for this stuff. At a point, you have to say, I got to look out for myself. If I can't take care of myself, I can't take care of anybody. I cannot take care of anybody if I don't take care of myself first. And that's true, and you know it. So take care of yourself. How do we deal with depression? Well, we all deal with it some way. But there are those that it's out of control, and it has affected their lives to the point where they almost don't have one. And that's what we're going to talk about with our guests right after this.
Do you know that there is one item that can not only increase your home's beauty, but its value? That would be placemats. Hello, I'm George Karonapikopoulos, owner of George K's Wholesale Placemat Warehouse, your one-stop for all your placemat needs. We have a placemat for every room of your house. That's right, placemats are not just for the dining room anymore. Anywhere you might make a spill, or maybe where you eat, like in front of the TV. I do it all the time like you. You want a placemat. We have fancy placemats like in bamboo or teak. That's right, teak. Nice plastic laminate ones for no stains, even blue. We can custom make you placemats in as little as 2 weeks. Come to our showroom at the intersection of Route 27 and the Holbrook Turnpike. You're going to like what you see. Your placemat is waiting for you at George K's Wholesale Placemat Warehouse.
Dr. Lisa Harding joins us now. She's a board-certified psychiatrist and medical director at the Mood Institute. And Mark joins us. He's a 55-year-old patient living with treatment-resistant depression. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
I think, as a layperson, I think everybody these days has some form of depression. I know that that's a weird thing to say, and it is a very serious condition, but I think most of us can actually understand what's going on here. Am I accurate?
Thanks so much for the question. I agree with you. I think the way in which things have changed in the U.S.
Yes.
Post-COVID, we seem to talk a lot more about depression, whether there's a clinical definition or a clinical diagnosis by a physician is usually to answer that question. So major depressive disorder has a lot of subsets, or what people refer to as clinical depression. And they're divided into two major and minor symptoms. And the major symptoms of depression are low mood and sort of like the inability to participate in everyday activities. And the minor symptoms are actually physical symptoms, like, the inability to concentrate, low appetite, it can even disturb your sleep. And so I'm pretty lucky because I have been able to work with Johnson & Johnson in terms of developing new treatments for treatment-resistant depression, which is something completely different to like the regular depression.
Yes. Interesting. It's extremely interesting to me in a sense, because you see these celebrities and people who live in nice homes, and they have depression issues of serious nature, and you wonder, how can you be so depressed when you're surrounded, when you've got it so good? And it's a lesson in what depression really is, I guess.
Definitely. It has a very biological basis to it, and even though your mood can be influenced by your external circumstances, and I think there's, this is why we see a psychiatrist or a therapist or even talk to your primary care doctor about what we call sort of like the clinical diagnosis of depression, because it's okay to be sad. And I think each of us in our own skin, and Mark can speak most to this, is how does depression affect you? Yeah,
well, I'm going to be sad for the next 3 years, but I don't want to get into that. Mark, tell me about your journey and discovery here.
Yeah, well, first of all, Ron, thanks for giving me this platform, and thanks to Johnson & Johnson for working with me and allowing me to tell my story. So for me, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, the way depression manifested is not only a depressed mood, but the inability to feel joy or pleasure in doing things that you should enjoy doing. For me, that was social time with my friends and family, hobbies that I'd spent my lifetime cultivating, sports, just found no pleasure whatsoever in those things when I really should. And, everyone has a bad day on and off, but when you stretch that over years, it starts to wear on you, and life becomes a burden rather than something that you look forward to and enjoy and relish. And it became intolerable for me to just, basically almost like Groundhog Day, just wake up every day, put one foot in front of the other, and then go to bed at night. It was terrible.
Yeah. I think we all have some inkling of that every once in a while, but this is it becomes chronic when it's every day. Like you say, you should look forward to living, not to just getting through the day, and that's that. So, and it's interesting because I assume that when you're in that situation, you're kind of you can't do anything about it. You're a victim of your own head.
Yeah, that's correct. And what makes it's almost it's the snowball effect.
Yeah.
When you realize you're not being everything that you can be, and you take steps to mitigate that or to improve it, and you don't get improvement, it just makes it that much worse. It's it's a terrible life to live.
Sure, you can even turn to drugs, alcohol, whatever the case may be, or obsessions that are not good for you. So, Mark, how are you dealing with this, and what can we all do about this?
Well, for me, over the past 2 years, I've been on a regimen of Spravato, and what Spravato's done for me is one, it almost had an immediate impact. I took 2 treatments the first week, and I started feeling improvement right away. And the way that manifested is I felt more relaxed. And then over the past 2 years, it's just been, incremental improvements. So now I do enjoy spending time with my family. Right. I enjoy social events. I don't have social anxiety as much as I used to. And I just really look forward to the next day and looking forward to new experiences rather than, again, just, waking up and saying, oh, another day.
That's incredibly wonderful.
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Harding, I see a lot of commercials on television for various things, and they spend like a whole minute telling you about all the warnings and side effects and all that.
Yes.
Where do these types of resolve stand in that way?
Thank you for the question. It's really important to first be diagnosed by a psychiatrist or get diagnosis from your primary care doctor, because you have to be evaluated medically as well as from a psychiatric perspective, whether or not a treatment is safe for you. The warnings that are on there, we have to make sure that patients are safe. Spravato that Mark is talking about is only done in a REMS-certified treatment center, and the patient is monitored by a healthcare professional throughout that visit. And even though Mark is not my patient, I've treated many patients like Mark at our practice, and we monitor the patients, make sure that they're safe, and look for those treatment-emergent adverse events and side effects, and make sure it's safe to treat the patient.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're conditioned to run scared of these things when they can be incredibly helpful and safe, and yet we run scared because of all these warnings. But that's not for everybody. That's just, that's possible, and we have to tell you about it. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Informed consent.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's part of the deal with anything. I don't know anybody over the age of 50 who doesn't take medications every day for something that will sustain their life. I mean, thank God for medical technology, I'll tell you that.
Yes, and especially I think when we start to think about Spravato and the way that we've been treating depression for the past 40 years, we really wanted a different approach to give patients the freedom to have treatment for depression. And I don't know if you know this, but Spravato is indicated for treatment-resistant depression. So anyone that has not responded to an oral antidepressant, 2 oral antidepressants, adequate dose and duration. And it's actually indicated for monotherapy. So you can be on an oral antidepressant together with Spravato, or you can just be on Spravato.
Good. Well, I always love doing interviews where there's a resolve for something. Well, it's true. Yeah. I mean, we know that tons of things can happen to anybody anytime, and the fact that there are resolves for these is that's a good thing, and I like that. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, where do we go to get more information? I don't know if all doctors are familiar with this particular route or not.
You hit the nail on the head. Less than 2% of the patients with treatment-resistant depression have even heard about Spravato. Mm-hmm. So after you get a diagnosis from a psychiatrist or your primary care doctor, or you're seeing a therapist, you can go to Spravato.com. I know Dr. Google is out there, and we turn to some sources sometimes that aren't always up to date, but definitely Spravato.com has all of the information about the drug, including the important safety information. And on that website, there is also a Find a Center. And so you can put your zip code in and see who the REMS certified treatment centers are near you. And they have to go through a whole process to become REMS certified. And so you know who you're seeing in that center has been trained to talk to you efficiently about Spravato.
Okay. Can you spell Spravato for us?
Spravato. Spravato.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, it sounded like a spelling bee for a second. But
well, I went to medical school, didn't do the English.
I'm sure, yes. Well, I mean, because when you Google, you got to know how to spell it sometimes. Otherwise, you're going to be looking up, lawn maintenance companies. I have no idea. Okay. Dr. Lisa Harding, thank you so much. Mark, thank you to you for helping us out by sharing and making us all better as a result. And congrats to you and to the both of you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Ron. We appreciate it.
Well, that'll do it for me today. Thank you to my guests, especially. Fantastic. And thank you to you. I'll be back again on Monday with a brand new episode. But until that time arrives, I wish you peace.